My partner has PMDD. Now what? This is the title of my new course that just became available. And for the month of December, I am going to give the first 12 individuals who purchase this program a private session with me to go over all of the modules with them and customize it to their relationship only for the month of December and only the first 12 individuals. This course is specifically designed for partners. If you've ever said to yourself that you want your partner to be more supportive, you wish that they knew more about PMDD, you've been sending them articles and they're really just not changing their behavior. If you're the partner, you've read more about PMDD, but it's not giving you the actionable tools on how you can get your relationship to be better, to reduce that stress in your relationship. If you're even on your last leg and you're saying, Dr. Rose, I don't know if we're going to make it because we've gone through so many fights, we've gone through so many arguments in PMDD, we're really close to fearing the next month in PMDD because we barely made it last month, and you're feeling like you need the actionable tools as the partner on how to be more supportive and then also get your needs met. Because I know that partners go through so much when they're in PMDD and they need a place to really process that and really understand what am I doing wrong and stop beating yourself up. And most of all, stop walking on eggshells. This program is designed so that both the partner who has PMDD and the partner who doesn't, to stop walking on eggshells within your relationship and get back to that place of having the peace. Because that's one of the biggest things that PMDD can take away from your relationship because of why the chaos and confusion of not really understanding what to do in PMDD. What happens in the luteal phase? What do I need to do? What do I need not to do? What are the mistakes that I'm making? This course is going to give you all the information that you need. It's going to go through the PMDD symptoms. It's going to go through the number one partner mistake. It's going to go through intimacy, attachment styles, family dynamics, friends and families. And then most importantly, I am giving you my signature 6 characteristics of a supportive PMDD partner. And I'm giving you the actionable tools on how you can start implementing those within your relationship. So I'm looking forward to the first 12 individuals. You'll be able to book a session with me that is going to be complimentary with this program, along with all of the workbooks, the tools, everything that you need is in this program. And it's called My Partner Has PMDD. Now what? I look forward to hearing about the transformation that you get from this course. I'll see you in there. We got this. So today I want to talk to you about dating and PMDD and give you a little bit of an update on my journey with dating while having premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I am Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist, and I help you stop the monthly PMDD breakups. And in my journey over this past year, I have gone through such an exploratory journey. And what I mean by that is just exploring what I want to add to my life after the breakup and my relationship ending. If you scroll back a million episodes, you can hear all about my journey. And for those of you who have been following me along the way, I love you and thank you for supporting me and being there for me. I think it's a little bit different when you are always the one that's there for other people in their PMDD relationships and you pour so much into them. But over this past year, I really had a lot of my private clients check in on me, text me, call me, email me, DM me, and just making sure that I'm good during this process because it has not been easy. It was not an easy decision that I made last year. And then this year has just really been about looking at myself, right? I've really been in this journey of being really introspective, of saying not what could have, not what could I have done better, as if I'm shaming myself or blaming myself, but just holding myself accountable for my part in the ending of the relationship. And I don't regret it at all. I'm actually very, very grateful that I had that experience, that I had that relationship. It really changed me. It changed my outlook. It caused me to grow. And I love my partner, my ex-partner, and I appreciate the time that I had with him. And just like moving forward, I was just wanting to be very intentional about who I add to my life because what I did notice with having premenstrual dysphoric disorder is you cannot just add anyone to your life and think that your PMDD symptoms are not going to be impacted. That was the biggest lesson that I learned because before the way I used to date was I would meet a person, we would date, fall in love, all the things. And then I would deal with PMDD. Then I would bring up PMDD. Then I would, try to make them a supportive PMDD partner or kind of like I just always thought everything would just fall into place. Honestly, I really thought that they would just love me enough to know exactly what to do because they loved me, right? And that's the biggest thing that I learned is that just because your partner loves you doesn't mean that they know how to be a supportive PMDD partner. If you really think about premenstrual dysphoric disorder, it is very well unknown. Even now, I mean, I'm talking to doctors, psychologists, psychotherapists, and counselors and all the things, and they still know very, very little about it. And the fact that they keep comparing it to PMS or comparing it to bipolar, I know it's very triggering for us because we're really thinking it's so much more than that. But what I've noticed is that you have to have suffered with premenstrual dysphoric disorder in order to really understand it. Because I try to explain it to a lot of my colleagues, and it's very surface level, but PMDD is so emotional. It's so deep. It's so many different symptoms that you kind of have to develop tools that are addressing all of the different things that, the person is experiencing in all phases of their cycle, not just the luteal phase, but the follicular phase and ovulation and menstruation. It's all connected. And so I developed this program called My Partner Has PMDD Now What? And what I did was I made sure that I put in everything that would tell a partner what they need to do, what it needs to look like to be a supportive PMDD partner. If you're my private client, whenever you say that you want your life to be a certain way, I just want to be happy or I just want peace in my relationship, I will always ask you, and what does that look like? And the reason why is because it can be different for everybody. What's peace for me is very different from what's peace for you. For example, as I've been going through this journey with myself, I've just been coming home to myself. That's what I've just been sitting with, or the mantra that keeps coming in my mind is you're just coming home. I just want you to come home. And what that means is coming home to all of the things that I love, all of the things that bring me joy. I've been to a lot of festivals. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of spiritual growth. I've had a lot of tears. I don't call them breakdowns. I've had them, they've built me up. I've released a lot of things. I released a lot of guilt. I released a lot of shame. I released that feeling of just beating myself up, and feeling like a failure because I couldn't make it work. And I was thinking about that. I was like, why am I feeling so guilty for not being able to make it work? And the answer to that was it's not supposed to be something where you make it work. Honestly, either there's one or two things that can happen in your PMDD relationship. Either your partner already has the qualities to be a supportive PMDD partner. And if you want to know what those are in detail, they're in the program. I literally have 6 modules that are going over the characteristics of a supportive PMDD partner and exactly what that looks like with workbooks and everything. So that's number one. They either already have the qualities or they're willing to work on having the qualities. That is the golden key. If your partner doesn't have the qualities of a supportive PMDD partner, that's okay. All your partner needs to do is be willing and open to learn the characteristics of a supportive PMDD partner. And it really benefits them because they get their needs met too. So it's not just about the partner who has PMDD in, because I know a lot of partners are like, oh my gosh, I'm putting in all this work and I'm not even getting my needs met. I get it. It's really hard to stay motivated with working on being a supportive PMDD partner if you're not getting your needs met. And a lot of those needs are not just needs for physical intimacy. It's needs for emotional intimacy. It's needs to feel close. It needs to feel wanted. It needs to feel desired. It needs to feel like the effort that you're putting in is actually making a difference in your PMDD relationship. That's the feedback that partners are really needing. And that is why I created this course, is because it's giving you the tools so that when your partner says, I just need you to be more supportive, you can go to those modules, you can have those tools and use them for the entirety of your PMDD relationship. Because like I said on the last episode, things were coming up in my relationship every single month, every single day. And a lot of times partners just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And it's not for a lack of trying. It's not for a lack of effort. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because even when you got PMDD, for the individuals that are suffering with PMDD, you didn't know. It's trial and error. When you have premenstrual dysphoric disorder, you have to figure out what works for you in your journey. And I work with a lot of coaches in the industry, and by the industry, I just mean people that are working in the PMDD community. And they all have different aspects that they're helping you with. Some are helping you with fitness. Some are helping you with nutrition. Some are helping you with just overall. And mine is solely PMDD relationships. So if I needed something in regards to any of my other PMDD symptoms, I would absolutely hire a coach to help me, just like I hired my dating coach to help me. So everything that I'm telling you to do as far as investing in yourself in your PMDD journey, you have to do that, or you're just leaving yourself open to more suffering. And I would say to you, if you're in this place where you're really complaining about your PMDD relationship, as you should, I understand when you have stuff going on in your PMDD relationship, it's hard because it's hard to manage that and your PMDD symptoms. So when you're in your follicular days and you're in ovulation, even, you may be thinking, okay, I can deal with this. And I always say it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to have a bad month in PMDD. It's not okay to have a bad life. And what I mean by that, it's not okay if you're going months and months and months and you're seeing the same suffering in your PMDD relationship. It's not sustainable. One or the both of you are going to get burnt out. And this is where a lot of the damage comes, because you start saying and doing things that are hurtful. And those hurtful words don't just go away. They don't just disappear. They actually ruminate in your mind again and again and again. And this is for the partner that's suffering with PMDD and the partners that's not. You're leaving yourself open to say and do things that are damaging to your PMDD relationship every single time you're going one more month in your relationship and you're not addressing the issues that you genuinely have with your partner. So what I just decided for myself was I'm only going to date a supportive PMDD partner. And this is a non-negotiable for me. I don't have it in me. Number one, because I don't want to waste anyone else's time. I don't want to cause anyone else to suffer. I truly believe that the partners that I had in the past, they did the best they could with the tools that they had, with the qualities that they had. I don't think it was a lack of effort. I think it was a lack of qualities that I just didn't know that needed to be there in a PMDD relationship. I was under the assumption that they would just, start to develop them. And that's absolutely not true. And that's why I created this program. My partner has PMDD, now what? Because I understood it's not just cookie cutter. You can't just go and pick up somebody and they just automatically have the qualities. And a lot of times you're getting frustrated with them because they're not developing the qualities on their own. But they don't have the capacity to. It took me years of research, years of counseling, coaching, private, PMDD partners, PMDD sufferers. My whole dissertation, all 160 some pages of it, was solely on the partners. It took years for that to happen, over 5 years. This is not something that your partner is just expected to just have. It's not something that they're expected to just be able to Google and then all of a sudden they're just like infused with all of the qualities. But the biggest reason why I just decided for my journey, I'm like, and I'm really, you know, lending this to you, that I would strongly suggest that you are solely in a relationship with someone that is a supportive PMDD partner. That's why I created the program. And the first reason is because of the emotional stability. So a supportive PMDD partner is going to provide you with consistent grounding with your emotions when you're in PMDD. Even when you're having a really hard day, even when you're going off on PMDD rage, they're grounding. And by grounding, I mean they're not reacting to the stressful environment the same way that you're reacting. So say if you're really stressed and you're really overwhelmed and they don't have that emotional stability, you get pissed off, they get pissed off. You get angry, they get angry. You get depressed, they get depressed. That's not emotional stability. That is them going to that same level that you're at. And a lot of times that leads to the fights, it leads to the arguments, it leads to the hurtful words, it leads to the damage because you're both literally mirroring each other. Every time your mood shifts, their mood shifts. But with a supportive PMDD partner, they're able to remain calm, which is what I'm teaching you in the program. I have a whole module on that. They're able to remain calm even when you're in those moments of PMDD rage. Am I giving you permission to verbally abuse your partner and to go off on them? Absolutely not. You know, if you're my private client, I work with you regulating your own emotions as well. But what I am saying, when you have those moments that may happen in PMDD because you're stressed out over something that's either happening in the relationship or just something that's happening in your life, they're able to ground you and be that calming person that's not going to go there with you. And then you don't escalate because they don't escalate. Because here's the thing, every single time that you're frustrated, you're overwhelmed, you go off, and then they're triggered by it too, and they go off, it's like adding fuel to the fire. Now you're both in this heightened state of emotion, and there's nobody to bring you down. That's why a lot of my private clients, when they call me in those moments, either you're both up here. You're both at a high level of stress and overwhelm and anger and frustration and bitterness and resentment and unforgiveness. And I have to bring you down. But when you have a supportive PMDD partner, they learn the tools on how to stay grounded. Even when you're in those moments of triggering them, they're like, okay, I understand that this is PMDD. I understand that this is what you're going through. How can I help you? And what this does is when you're only with a supportive PMDD partner, it reduces the stress in your PMDD relationships. It creates a low stress environment, which minimizes your PMDD symptoms. Stress exasperates emotional and physical discomfort when you have PMDD. It automatically makes your symptoms worse. It raises your cortisol levels. It keeps them raised for a long period of time when you're already feeling stressed and overwhelmed with PMDD. But when you have the stress in your relationship, and you don't have a supportive PMDD partner, it magnifies that stress. That's how you start to think that your partner is the enemy. That's how you start to think that they're making your symptoms worse. Because in reality, and I hate to say it, in a way, they kind of can make your symptoms worse by adding to the stress in your PMDD relationship. That is another reason why I created the program, because I'm like, I don't want them to have to keep hearing. I know that is the most hurtful thing. I've had so many private clients just literally break down on sessions with me because they've been told so many times that they're the problem, that they're the reason why their PMDD partner is suffering, that they're the reason why their partner has PMDD, that they're the person that makes them suffer. And when you love a person and you really care about them, that's one of the most hurtful things that you can say to them, because you're not in the relationship to cause them to have pain. You're not in the relationship to make their symptoms worse. You're in the relationship to make their symptoms better. So when you have a supportive PMDD partner, you have that improved communication, that open dialogue that allows you to express what you're going through in PMDD. It allows you to share your suffering, share your needs, share your triggers, and share your feelings without getting criticized, without getting judged, without getting blamed, without getting shamed, without feeling like you need to hide any of your symptoms. And you have that safe place to just say, I'm not okay today. I remember being so scared to say that to past partners because I knew that me being in PMDD was a trigger for them. So I never wanted to say that I was suffering. I never wanted to be in that place of just admitting how horrible I felt or how much I didn't want to go to that event or how much it was causing me, suffering to even do the things that were meeting their needs. It's like I was doing them and instead of being able to communicate to them and say, hey, like, I know that you really want me to go to this event, or I know that you really want to be intimate right now. I know you really want this, but I'm not feeling it today. Like, I want to be there for you, but I'm really in this place where I'm just feeling low and I really just need support. And what happens is when you have a supportive PMDD partner and you're telling them about your feelings and you're telling them about your emotions and your moods and all the things, then they have empathy and understanding. They make an effort to understand where you are. They meet you where you are in PMDD. They validate your experience. They don't dismiss it. They don't minimize it and say, here you go in PMDD, or everything with you is a trigger, or it's always like this. A lot of times when PMDD partners are saying that, it's because their needs are not getting met and they're feeling really resentful, not just towards you, but towards PMDD as a whole. They're hating PMDD and they're hating that you have PMDD and they're wanting you to just snap out of it. And so the next way that really just having only a supportive PMDD partner can really help you is they help with the everyday task that you go through in PMDD. I know I'm on day 2 of PMDD right now, and last week I had so much energy. I was all over the place and I was getting so much done. And then I remember waking up yesterday in PMDD and being like, I don't have the energy to get out of bed. I had these piles of laundry because I'm all for washing and drying. And then there's like the pile, and the pile just sits there and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, like a little chia pet. And I was just thinking, like, if I had a supportive PMDD partner, I could literally go to them and say, like, hey, babe, I'm really like, can you really just help me with, folding the laundry today? Because a lot of times when you have PMDD and you have a lot of clutter around you, it can make your symptoms worse because the clutter that you are seeing outwardly actually causes chaos and confusion in your mind. Like because it's always reminding you that you have something else to do. Like when you see all of the stuff laying around, it's like, oh, there's one more thing I have to do, one more thing I have to do, one more thing I have to do. But when you have a supportive PMDD partner, you can set these boundaries. This is the next one. This really, really, I really, really have to be very, very mindful and intentional when choosing a partner for this specific reason. When you have PMDD, there are going to be times where you want space from your partner. There are going to be times where you want a slower pace in your relationship. You want things to go slower. Maybe you don't want to go out as much. Maybe you want more cuddles. Maybe you want more affection. Maybe you want someone that's just there for you, that's giving you more words of affirmation and just telling you that they love you, that they care about you, that they're being affectionate, that they're showing you that you're desired, that you're wanted because you're feeling really bad about yourself, but you're wanting someone that's still going to show you that they love and adore you, even when you're experiencing PMDD symptoms. And this is something that is absolutely what a supportive PMDD partner does. They understand that if you want space or need space in the relationship, it has everything to do with you and nothing to do with them. They're not feeling attacked. They're not feeling abandoned. They're not feeling neglected. They're not feeling like they did something wrong. They're understanding that you're overwhelmed emotionally and you just need space to regulate yourself. And another way that being with a supportive PMDD partner can really, really help you is they encourage self care. One of the best things for me when I'm in PMDD is staying with my PMDD partner's morning routine that I do every single morning. If you're following me on Instagram, you'll see me there. It's Dr. Rose _ in love with PMDD. And I do it every single day. And I really need a supportive PMDD partner that is going to understand that that is my me time. In the morning, I keep my phone on do not disturb. I do the whole routine, and then I feel so much better that I've taken that time and space for myself. But I've been in relationships in the past where they haven't been encouraging of my PMDD partner's morning routine. It's almost like they wanted me to pour into them before I had the opportunity to pour into myself, and I did it, but it caused me to be burnt out. It caused me to not, it caused me to be depleted, and it ultimately made my symptoms worse. But I felt like it's what I had to do in order to be supportive. It's what I had to do in order to be a supportive PMDD partner for them. And so the next way that having a supportive PMDD partner can really, really help you is you're sharing with problem solving, right? So a supportive PMDD partner is going to work with you with the issues that you bring up. They're not going to say, oh, they're not going to be mad at you for bringing up issues in your relationship. They're going to say, they're going to be grateful that you're communicating the issues and then come up with solutions with you. Like, babe, what do you think we should do about this? One of the best things that I've seen with my private clients is when they have the weekly sessions with me, and they're coming on every single week and they're mapping out their week. This is what we have to do for this week. This is the things that we have going on, and we're mapping it out because we know that we're in this phase of the cycle, and they're problem solving together. And it's so beautiful because they're making a plan before PMDD happens versus letting PMDD ruin their plans and then trying to clean up the mess afterwards. I always tell my private clients, hey, let's handle it at the lowest level. Let's have a plan so when you get in those stressful situations, you already know exactly what to do. It's very hard to make a plan while you're in the midst of the chaos, the confusion, and the anger and the bitterness and resentment, while you've already said the hurtful words to your partner and now you're trying to work with them afterwards. It's like they don't even want to talk to you. Or when they're talking to you, they're making little sly comments and all these things. So having a supportive PMDD partner really does minimize your suffering in PMDD. And I'm going to give you the reasons why. The first reason is it prevents isolation. One of the biggest things that I really felt in past relationships is because I didn't have a built-in supportive PMDD partner, I felt really lonely in the relationship. I felt like I couldn't really talk about my PMDD symptoms without it triggering my partner. So I just kept it to myself. So it was a very lonely journey. I was in a relationship, but I felt like I was alone. And again, I'm taking full responsibility of that because what I always say is I chose this person. I'm never blaming it on the other person and saying they should have done this and they should have done. No, I had the opportunity to choose a supportive PMDD partner and I chose just a partner and then expected them to know about PMDD. So with my program, what I'm offering for, I have about 9 spots left is you get a private session with me to go over the modules in the program and customize them to your specific PMDD relationship. So if you go to inlovewithpmdd.com, you can grab one of the last 9 spots. It's only for the month of December. After that, it'll just be the program that's available. But what I'm going to help you do is take all of the things that are in the program that are like, this is what it means to be a supportive PMDD partner and giving you exactly what you need to do in your specific PMDD relationship. So make sure you grab one of those last 9 spots for the month of December. But the next way that having a supportive PMDD partner really does minimize your suffering in PMDD is because it eases the guilt of having PMDD. It doesn't make you feel guilty or feel shame or feel like you're a burden when you have PMDD because they're understanding of it. They don't look at PMDD as there's something wrong with you or there's a flaw or you feel like you need to make up for it or you feel like, I should be so lucky that they're with me because I have PMDD. No. When you have a supportive PMDD partner, they see you outside of PMDD. They're not looking at you as just like a walking PMDD partner. They're seeing the value in you. They're constantly reminding you of how amazing you are, regardless of the fact that you have PMDD. And what that does is it boosts your confidence. So when you have a supportive PMDD partner, your self-esteem is always higher because you have a partner that supports you even on your toughest days and still makes you feel like they're lucky to have you. They don't make you feel like you have a default or a defect or there's something wrong with you. And then what that means is when you go through PMDD, you have those coping skills. So you can work on PMDD together. It's like you and your partner against PMDD, not you with PMDD against your partner. When you have stuff that comes up, you're openly talking about it, you're communicating about it. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected, and all of these things. So what I really decided was moving forward in my dating journey, and I strongly suggest you get into this mindset in your PMDD relationship is having a supportive PMDD partner. It should be a non-negotiable. When you do not have a supportive PMDD partner, you're leaving yourself open to more suffering. You're leaving yourself in a position where you're settling. You're settling for a lower version of your relationship and you're paying a price by settling. You're paying a price because you're opening the door to suffering, you're opening the door to stress, and then you're starting to believe, oh, well, I guess this is just good enough for me. And I want to let you know, especially if you have PMDD, you deserve better. And I know that, and I don't mean better by another PMDD partner. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you deserve the best out of your partner. And that's why I created this program to give them the tools because I know that they want to give you their best. I counsel so many partners and I know that they want to give you their best. They just need to know how. And giving them an article on PMDD and telling them about all of your suffering does not give them the tools on how to be a supportive PMDD partner. And really and the reason why I'm doing all of this in November is because I really recognized when any decisions that I've made in my relationship, my next year, like my birthday is November 29th. So I always look at that as like my new year. And I always say to myself, my next year is going to look like this past year unless I change things and do things differently. I remember thinking that in past relationships, like nothing's going to change. A lot of times it's just getting worse, right? It's just getting worse. Nothing's going to get better over time unless you do something different. Your next year, if you're already suffering in your PMDD relationship, it is absolutely going to get worse unless you get the tools to do something different, to do it. And it's very strategic with PMDD. It's not just cookie cutter, just be nicer to each other and just be supportive. And I know there's a lot of frustration because the partners will say, I'm trying to be supportive, that I really have the intentions of being supportive. They want to, they desire it. But it's kind of like telling someone that I want you to go to the store and there's no gas in the car. They want to go to the store. They get in the car. They're trying to turn the car on. But if there's no gas in the car, guess what? They're not going anywhere. If there's no gas in the car, and by gas in the car, that means tools for your partner, they're not progressing into a supportive PMDD partner. There's a reason why there's 14 modules within the course. It's for you to work, it's self-paced, it's for you to work at your own level of, hey, and I would say, when I was developing the program, they were asking me, do I want to have all of the modules in order? And I specifically said no, because I want you to look at all of the modules that are in the course. And I want you to look at the one that is causing the most suffering in your PMDD relationship and start working on that one first, because this is what I do with my private clients. If there's a whole list of things that you're talking about in your PMDD relationship, like we have a problem with co-parenting, or we have a problem with finances, or we have a problem with the stressful symptoms, I always look for what is the thing that is causing the most damage in the PMDD relationship, causing the most suffering. And I immediately say, we're going to work on this thing first. Yes, we're going to address all of the other issues, but I only work on things little by little, give you homework, give you tools of what you can do just for that next week. So even though it's 14 modules in the course, you have all the time in the world. You have lifetime access to the course to work on it at any time that you want. But the reason why for the new year, moving into the new year, this should be a non-negotiable, is because your PMDD relationship will absolutely look the same. And so I would ask you right now, do you want your PMDD relationship to look like it looks right now? Do you want it to go in the direction that it's going right now? Because PMDD is going to absolutely come. Like, it's not a question. It's going to come every single month, and it already gives you physical, emotional, and mental challenges every single month. An unsupportive PMDD partner is going to add unnecessary stress, unnecessary conflict. This is going to lead to the PMDD monthly breakups, because there's going to be guilt that exacerbates the symptoms and makes the relationship feel like another burden. Like, this is just one more thing that's added to my plate. It adds weight to your PMDD symptoms. But a supportive PMDD partner, on the other hand, helps you feel like you're going through PMDD and you're not alone, and you have the peace and you have the ability to feel supported and feel, the affection, get that affection back, to get validation back. So you deserve a relationship that strengthens you, not one that depletes you and makes you feel like you're hanging on by a piece of dental floss. I've been in those relationships. It's like, I barely survived this month. I don't know that I'm going to survive next month with my partner. That's how bad it can get when you're going in that direction. You're feeling so burnt out. Your nervous system is all over the place. I remember even getting to a point where I was breaking out. Like, my body, I was physically having a physical symptoms of how stressed I was. And I used to think like, oh, this is just a PMDD symptom. No, it was the additional stress of my PMDD relationship that wasn't getting addressed, and it wasn't getting any better. And I was having to give myself these pep talks every single time. I was like, okay, I'm going to get through this month. Not a pep talk for PMDD, a pep talk for my PMDD relationship. So it is now a non-negotiable that I will be moving forward with a supportive PMDD partner. And I challenge you to get into that same mindset. And I do not mean that you have to break up with your partner. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, if you know that your partner doesn't have the qualities of a supportive PMDD partner, and you'll know this, you'll know, because if you've been asking them to be supportive, you know good and well that they don't have the qualities. And you also know that they've been trying. So give them the tools to get this program. My partner has PMDD. Now what? Go to inlovewithpmdd.com. It's in the show notes. And I would urge you, pause this right now. This is about to end, and go get those last 9 spots, because once they're gone, they're gone. This is the only time this year that I'm doing the private sessions. The program will still be available, but I guarantee you that you're going to want to have the private sessions with it to customize it for your individual PMDD relationship. Until next time, we got this. Love you. I hope these tools help you and your PMDD partner. If you have not enrolled to get the course, My Partner Has PMDD, Now what? Then you want to make sure that you are one of the first 12 individuals that gets the course for the month of December to get that complimentary private session with me. And then after that, it'll go back to regular price without the private sessions. But what this course is going to do for you is give your partner all of the tools that they need on how to be a supportive PMDD partner. What does that look like? I always say that your partner doesn't need more information. They need more implementation. They need more transformational tools. And this is the program for you. So I'm looking forward to you getting those tools in the program. And until next episode, we got this.